Greetings all! Today we will be examining the uncommon Psychic-type Pokemon Hatenna, the Calm Pokémon, its equally uncommon evolution Hattrem, the Serene Pokémon, and its exceptionally rare Psychic Fairy-type evolution Hatterene, the Silent Pokémon. While they might not be the kind of creatures to enjoy rowdiness and loud entertainment, the members of the Hatenna family are unique beasts that can certainly make things interesting for those that are willing to put up with their violent tendencies to work with them.
Hatenna have pink spherical bodies with two small digitaless pink feet and an oval mouth. Their eyes are hidden by a three-curled mat of hair with extensions on either side that they use in place of arms, as well as a pink spotted fleshy horn with bulbous blue tip that caps the top of their head. Their evolved form, Hattrem, have a more discernible base body with small blue feet and pink arms and large black eyes above a cute mouth that is usually smiling. Their hair is changed into a more hat-like shape with a bulbous round blue form with pink organic bands that make it look like they are wearing braids, with a fleshy pink and white striped horn on their cap. Their final evolution, Hatterene, have a tiny core body much like their pre-evolved form, with 4 pink spots in the front of their pale head, but it is very hard to see as a whole because their hair has become long and large enough in volume for them to wear it as a false body, with a fairly curvaceous figure formed from the tangled weave. While the base is pink, it becomes more blue near the top, where it is capped with a blue horn of hair and a large blue tentacle with a pink bead-like growth at the end of its base and a 3-fingered bulb-like end that they use to lash out and attack others with. Lastly, these creatures have access to a G-Max form, in which these creatures grow immensely in size and the forms become slightly distorted as their hair body becomes distended and large enough to reveal a good portion of their real body, their hair matting in the back into a pair of orbs with a series of 3 long fleshy blue tentacles.
The members of the Hatenna family are unique, female-only creatures that share much in common with the members of the Ralts family, but at the same time lay on the complete opposite end of the emotional spectrum.
Both of these psychic-type families rely on emotions as part of their daily lives and are deeply connected to them as a concept both physically and mentally, but how they respond to them is what really makes them distinct from one another. The members of the Ralts family thrive off of emotions, and they are especially happy when they are near positive ones in great volume. The members of the Hatenna family, on the other hand, actually despise emotions and cannot stand to be around them when they are really high, no matter what form they take, preferring quiet, calm individuals that do not show much change in emotion no matter what the situation might be.
While this means they can be a struggle for younger trainers to deal with, as most kids tend to be quite emotional and easily aroused, it nonetheless can pay off as they are quite powerful in a fully evolved state, so keeping one's emotions in check can be quite helpful.
This is also a requirement because, while at a young age they really can't do much to voice their concerns, once they start to mature, these creatures can become quite violent against those that disturb the peace that they enjoy, and this goes for friends and foe alike. As such, trainers must be wary about how they approach these creatures, as they might otherwise end up paying for the inability to keep their emotions close to the vest with pain and, in the most extreme of cases, their lives. As a result of these creatures being fairly sensitive to both sound and intense emotions as a whole, as well as to noted healing abilities, these beasts normally have access to Healer and Anticipation as base abilities, while those that possess stronger psychic powers can readily generate energy barriers to defend themselves and can thus have access to Magic Bounce as a hidden ability. As far as the stats are concerned, in the case of Hatterene, these creatures are not able to last as long as others might in battle as a result of their limited stamina, and the reliance on their hair for much of their locomotion drastically reduces their mobility, so their base HP and speed stats are below average for fully evolved Psychic and Fairy-type Pokemon. However, they are still able to lash out decently hard with physical attacks, their base attack stat being above average for a fully evolved Fairy-type Pokemon, and their defensive attributes and special offenses are quite high, their base defense, special attack, and special defense stats all being above average for fully evolved Pokemon of both of their types, so they can more than prove to be a formidable opponent to face in any battle they are made a part of. Much as the horns on Ralts do, the protrusion on the top of the head of a Hatenna is used to detect the emotions of others near it, so it has a general idea of whether or not it is safe to be out. The creatures are deathly afraid of high emotions, so if something of that caliber is detected in even a single creature nearby, they will choose to remain out of view, running away as fast as they can until they come to a place that is quiet and calm.
As a result of this, these creatures generally prefer to stay away from places where humans dwell, for humans as a species tend to be a fairly emotional group.
This can also make it difficult to make friends with these creatures, as they only readily bond with those that can exhibit a calm disposition on a regular basis. This can certainly render them difficult to work with, as can the fact that their combat skills are not the greatest and they take quite a while to evolve even once, but they at the very least can get access to some decent psychic and fairy type attacks as they grow and develop, so it is not a total loss to try and raise one from a young age.
While Hatenna cannot do much other than run when they are in the presence of really strong emotions, this changes drastically once they manage to evolve into Hattrem.
In this state, the bodies of these creatures do not grow all that much. Instead, their bodies become augmented as their hair grows and strengthens into a pair of braids that they use as their primary means of locomotion. Aside from making them at least a little bit faster than Hatenna, these braids are made from tightly woven mounds of solid hair that can be used to actually attack others, which comes in the form of a brutal swing attack that they acquire immediately after evolving. They mainly use this as a way of getting rid of those that show high emotions around them, for if anyone is caught feeling any type of high or extreme emotion while in their presence, their sensitivity to emotions will kick in, and they will use their braids to brutally and violently silence said offenders by swinging them like wrecking balls, battering down the offender and making sure they think twice about having such high emotions around them again. This is no joke, as a single blow from their braids is enough to knock out a professional boxer. And while this might not translate into a lot of damage in battle on account of their low overall physical strength, it can still prove to be a problem, as the pain that comes with being beaten by them is likely to trigger even more extreme emotions, resulting in further beatdowns until the target is left a battered mess. As such, trainers will have to keep their Hattrem on a tight leash if they want it to be friendly towards others, and try to train them with only they and everyone else around them can maintain some sort of calm disposition. When Hattrem evolve into Hatterene, their hair grows immensely in volume, to the point where they are able to use it to freely hoist themselves far off the ground and use it as a false body, and a fairly curvaceous one as well. This is mainly done to lure in their prey, which happens to be humans, whom they drain the life energy from in order to sustain themselves, aside from the berries they eat on a frequent basis.
This body of hair is not the most mobile platform, and the base species that experiences a moderate drop in evolution as a result of this, but it is more than made up for by the fact that their special stats increase dramatically. Even if their base HP stat remains exactly the same, as the real body does not change that much in evolution.
In this state, these creatures also manage to acquire the capacity to freely control their natural environment beyond their psychic powers, acquiring the ability to freely generate and harness fairy force energy from their bodies, and thus becoming partial fairy types. Moreover, they develop a tentacle on the back of their false hair body that allows them to strike with physical attacks to a moderate degree, and grants them access to the Psycho Cut attack immediately after evolving. Hatterene are further able to exude enough psychic energy from their forms that they can cause headaches to anyone they go near. Even the dandruff they use in their signature magic powder technique is imbued with enough psychic power to temporarily change others into psychic types. They use their power in this matter because these creatures, known by some as the Forest Witches, are very sensitive to emotions, even more so than their pre-evolved forms, and cannot stand any physical or mental noise for very long. If they are near people that are too noisy for their liking, these creatures will lash out and attack with their tentacle in order to silence them, tearing them apart viciously just to get some peace and quiet. This behavior can make them a pain to deal with, but it is noted that just getting them into a safe, quiet space for a few minutes at a time can be enough to keep them stable, and the tolerance to noise can be developed over time when in captivity, so it isn't all bad for them. Great caution is nonetheless recommended though, as those in the wild will not be afraid to use their power to shut the lips and minds of others if they feel too annoyed by those thinking and speaking in their vicinity.
It is lastly noted that Hatterene is one of only a select number of Pokemon capable of possessing the Gigantamax factor, and in turn can take on a unique Gigantamax form when they are Dynamaxed.
In this state, these creatures become capable of reading the emotions of others over 30 miles away and will go on the attack the moment they detect any form of hostility whatsoever. This has given these creatures the nickname of the Raging Goddess, as they shoot beams of energy like lightning from their tentacles to take down others. While this might only be a temporary state for them, the immense power that flows through them while in this state allows Hatterene to utilize a unique G-Max move known as G-Max Smite, which takes them standard max Starfall attack and energizes the projectiles using the attack with psychic energy to confuse opponents, allowing these monsters as a whole to use their Dynamax power to the fullest to keep the opposition under threat of being partially incapacitated and in danger of hurting themselves in a fight.
Though they might start off looking quite cute and only get more beautiful as they age, the members of the Hatenna family are potentially dangerous creatures that can put a quick end to any fun that might be going on in their vicinity. You may have to wait quite a while before they can unleash their full power on the battlefield, but play your cards right with patience, and these creatures can more than prove to be devastating weapons against those that can't eliminate them quickly.
Just do yourself a favor and try to be as calm and peaceful as possible if you accidentally run into one of these creatures. They might look adorable as children and adolescents, but get too noisy around them as adults, and they'll gladly show you what they think of you when they strike in the hopes of being able to silence you forevermore.
Thank you all for watching this video. It is always a pleasure to help teach others about the world of Pokemon and the many facets of it that exist in both the world we call home and the world they call home. If you'd like, please leave a comment and subscribe and ring the bell to this channel to get regular updates on content and anything else that might be going on. You can find me and my written work on DeviantArt under the name Utitus, and be informed of information and content uploads on my Twitter page and my Patreon page. Donations are always welcome. Always remember, the world of Pokemon is a vast and varied place, and there's no telling what secrets might be hiding just around the corner. So keep watch, stay vigilant, and always prepare for the unexpected. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of the day.